Welcome to Trading Lounge and the S&P 500 for the 29th of May. Starting on the weekly chart here, we're looking at wave 3 here and 4 over here for an expanded flat and wave 5 to the upside. So the expanded flat is an A wave here, an A and a B wave here is a triangle, and 5 waves in a C wave for wave B here and 5 waves down here. An expanded flat takes out the top of a wave 3 and also takes out the low of wave A here. It's known as a bullish trap and a bearish trap. This particular pattern through here has been throughout the markets, has been in different forms. There's stocks that haven't taken the top out here, but still had the A, the B, and the C correction here. One of those is one of the stocks that we've been looking at. It's the Goldman Sachs here on the weekly chart here, where we've got the A wave here, the B wave in 3 here, and the C wave here in 5 waves here. Now, to help confirm that this is a correction here, we've got this in 3 waves here, so that makes all of the rest of this corrective. So it's pretty well confirmed in my tiny little mind that this is the correct count. And with Goldman Sachs here on the weekly chart, if we go to the daily chart here, we can also see that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for an impulse wave. Slightly different count from the US, the S&P 500, but you could count the S&P 500 like this too, by the way, which would leave us with a stronger move to the upside. So yeah, anyway, I just thought I'd throw that in, but we covered that yesterday in our stocks. So let's move in here to the daily chart here, and as you can see in this case here, we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and going into 5 here for this. Also with this as well is we are looking for a pattern across this major trading level here as what I call a classic trading levels pattern. So this pattern here, so we have the arrival here, then the reaction here in 3 waves, and that would be the arrival here, the reaction in 3 waves, and then the first high above the level, this first high above the level here, and we normally count 5 waves in that structure which we're doing, and then we'll see an ABC pattern here. It will actually pull down a bit further than that, so be pulling back down into group 2 support here. So we can just adjust that slightly into this space here, so to speak. Anyway, so that plays out like this pattern here. So if that's the 3,000 across here, we have the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and this is where we are now, just trying to find that high here, and then the ABC pattern here, and then we look for support over here. Yes, we can trade within all of these structures. It doesn't matter what you do, as long as you know what you're doing. So anyway, just thought I'd point that out. And moving into the 4-hour chart here. On the 4-hour chart here, I can just remove these. That was a count that that was suggested to me, and we'll look at that too. So just clear that out. But for the time being, we've got wave 3, the arrival, the reaction in 3 waves, and then we've been counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 up through here. So from wave 4 here to wave 5 here, we're also looking for 5 waves as well. So we'll go to the 15-minute chart and we'll pick it up on this wave 4 here. So the 15-minute chart, the blue wave 4 here. From blue wave 4 here, we'd been counting it up from that point over the last few days. So we've got wave 1 here and 2 here, and I won't go into all the detail, but 1 and 2 here, and from wave 2 here, 5 little blue waves here for wave 3, wave 4, wave 5 of 3 here, wave 4 here, and then looking up for wave 5 here. So on wave 5 here, might need to go to the tick chart. So we're looking for our target up here in group 2 here. So group 2 is 65, 72 and 80. So that's worked out quite nicely within that space. It does appear that we're getting an impulse wave down through here. So that's that looks a bit healthy on the bearish side, but we're not there yet. Let's go and have a look at the tick chart from 100 ticks from this point here to this point here. Need to bring in more data. So yeah, some blue wave 4 here. We'll look 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 up into this space here. So we're looking from this wave 4 here. Bit messy in here, but wave 1 here and 2 here. And I won't go into all the detail through here, but basically 5 waves in light blue here coming to the upside for wave 3. And we've got some sort of complex wave 4 here with an A wave here and a B wave over here and a C wave to this point here. And looking at this as 5 waves up here. Didn't count that very well, to be honest. I couldn't sort of figure out. I can see parts of it. I can see, this structure here. I can see 5 in here. Bit of an overlap here. So I can kind of go 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. No, that doesn't work. So anyway, it's a bit weird in here. It hasn't finished off nicely. But from the top here, we're looking at, when you're looking at a structure, something normally jumps out at you straight away. And obviously, in this case here, we can see that the strong third wave is in here. So we can piece together the first wave, the second wave, the third wave, the fourth wave, and probably 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 coming down through here. So what I was looking for here is the, if I can just use this drawing here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. I need to spend some time. That might drop down to 30 here and pop from that point. But it does appear that we're getting an impulse wave to the downside. So there is a case for having a top in play now. And what we want to do is, once this 5 waves comes into place, we want to be able to find the first rally. So in this case here, see this little rally in here, ABC here, and we put that line across here. Also, this is a classic trading levels pattern here too, the arrival, the reaction, the first low below the level, and then the ABC, and then down. So, these become, on a bearish side, they become the places to short here as well. But this here is just an example of the bigger picture here. 1, 2, 3. This could all be a third wave here too, and a fourth and a fifth wave here. I just need to figure that out. But what we're looking for, I can't draw on this side here, we're looking for that bounce back. So I'll just go to the 15-minute chart again. So yeah, nice sharp move down. So so 1 and 2 here, and probably, I don't know, I'll just draw this out, but maybe something like this, and then we'll see an ABC pattern here. We'll see some sort of rally here. So obviously this low here is important, but this through here is really important. That's where you can get your short trade to come in, and it needs to, that way it proves to you that it's coming down through that there. If you've set it up, you can go short here, you can go short here and build in positions, and so on. But yeah, look, there we go. So from yesterday, we were looking for another little move up into the, 65 and 72 area through here. So that's played out quite nicely. I've just got one problem with the situation so far, and that's with the Nasdaq. Because when we spoke yesterday, we talked about this move down through here. We're looking for that to retrace there. That worked out all nicely, and then we're looking for a move down. That was fine. Then we got the move up through here. So this move down through here, this is in 3 waves. So it's corrective. So it makes this also corrective as well. So what we could get here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for some sort of A wave, B wave, and C wave here, and then up from that point. As it stands at the moment, what we can do, I mean, it's a long way off here, but that high here, that's significant. So if that's taken out, I mean, I'm just talking, obviously the market's, pushing down strongly, but at the same time, that this here on the long side is the trigger for the long side, and sure, we may be able to get a better position in the long side, but we need to start somewhere, and it's at that point. And as I mentioned yesterday, a move above this point here would create this as an ABC pattern. So really, all of this is a bullish scenario, even though it's cranking down quite firmly through here. So we still need to address that situation. Let me just. I mean, it's looking quite good, isn't it? I mean, in that regard, there's one thing that we need to check out here. I'm just thinking, that's why I'm pausing, so don't worry about me. I'm just doing my thing, so I need to think and talk at the same time and make sense of that. So what we could do here, I'm just thinking about the bullish cases after looking at the Nasdaq. So that's from that low to that low. We know there's 5 waves in there. So what could occur is that the market can come down to this point and then move back up from that point. So we need to be mindful of that. So really, we wouldn't have really started our descent here unless the 3000 becomes the resistance here. So what we would need to see here is we would see this sort of thing going on here. Once we're under that 61.8 retracement level, then we have a bearish case for that there. And then what we can do from that point there is we can look at the next resistance down, which would be from this point, which was that second low there. That would bring in this one here, and that's just natural anyway, but it's nice to sort of be able to support certain price points. And then because we've got 5 waves here as well, then that brings us down to here. So these just become target areas here, you know. I mean, they don't mean anything just yet, but they're just good to sort of point out, you know. So we'll see. So the first thing to become bearish here is the 3000 becoming the retested resistance. So while the market's above the 3000, it can be bullish, and there's a case for that because of the Nasdaq pattern here. So with the bullish cases, as one of our members pointed out, we can also look at this a little bit differently here. So where we've got wave 4 here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, we could also have this here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 to this point here, and have wave 1 sitting here and wave 2 sitting here. So there's a case for that. And then this would probably have to make this all wave 3 here. So in this case, let's just take this here as wave 4 here, so that would bring us down to the 38.2% retracement level. So it would bring us back into the 3000 in that space. So we could look at this here as wave 3 here. I'm just shooting the breeze, and wave 4 to pull back into this space here, and then have wave 5 up. That would kind of make sense for this Nasdaq situation here. So I think that that's interesting within itself. So it's not over until the fat lady sings, whatever that means. But yeah, so we can see that we need that 3000 there as the resistance to confirm that we've actually got a top in play here for that. So just pulling out to the daily chart here. Yeah, I mean, so we want it below the level here for that. All right, I'll just leave it at that. So just to just to recap the situation, we've got we need the 3,000 for this pattern to, where, as far as I'm concerned, we were, in this leg up through here. We still may be in that leg. We can't confirm that that's finished until the 3,000 becomes the retested resistance. Okay, if that's the case, then we're going to be looking at this pattern here, where we have an ABC pattern here. So if I can just clean that up a little bit, this, because it's not going to be like that. It'll be more like this here, a bit deeper. So if the 3,000 becomes the retested resistance here, then we're going to have that pattern here. Okay, so that's what we'll be looking to the downside for. If the pattern stays the same here, then we'll be looking at the 4-hour chart here, and then we would need to look at that as wave 3 here and wave 4 here, and then in that case we would see another move up higher from that point there. So this count actually can be counted like this here. Slightly different once again, but wave 4 here, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for 1, 2 here, then 1 here and 2 here, and then this up here for wave 1 and back for wave 2, and then taking us up to wave 3 here, 4 here, 5 here for the third wave, the fourth wave, the fifth wave here for the third wave and the fourth wave, and then the fifth wave up through here, further up through here. So that's what can occur, and we need to just keep an eye on the Nasdaq here. That will have a good, if this plays out in 5 waves here. I mean, this could also be wave 1 here and 2 here, then wave 1 here and 2 here, and then pushing up from that point there. So we'll just keep an eye on that as well. So that, but whatever happens, that's the trigger to the long side. Okay, on the short side here, you'd need this low here breached. Once that gets breached, then you can look for short trades here, because then that will make that an ABC pattern at that point. And in this case here, we would want to be going long. Excuse me a second. So on the long side, we need to be going long. You could probably do it with support on top of 50 here, but just otherwise that little high here would suffice. That would be the long trade from that point. It's a bit tricky going to short it into, if you shorted it up here, then that's okay. I was lucky enough to get that then. I was just closing those trades out then, but now we really need to wait for some sort of rally and moving over this side, but we need to be under the 3,000 here. There's going to be nothing but support in this space here, but the next long trade will be up through this area through here if that's going to play out like that. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.